Carlo Ancelotti at Everton? That's wild, you know? Dude, that's like seeing Princess Diana at a McDonald's. You know what I mean?
I'm fascinated by the phenomenon of James Rodríguez. I was talking to somebody. Yeah, he's one of these players that's a different player for the national team.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Cody Gakpo for the Netherlands, or Miroslav Klose back in the day, who became,
or the opposite of Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, exactly, the inverse. But James has been a joy to watch. He's been whipping those balls in. Doesn't really have the pace and power anymore, but doesn't seem to need it. He has such composure and such a map of the field in his head at all times.
He's only 32 years old. I think we all talk about him as if he's 39. Like he's
been around forever. Yeah,
he really has. He's been around forever, and I still remember the goal against Uruguay where he volleyed it to himself and sort of turned his hips. It's crazy, and those moments, those flashes of brilliance. So a long time ago, I've had a lot of conversations with scouts because I've always been interested as to what do you see. Because a lot of times you'll hear like, oh, this kid's good, and I'll go watch him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's just doing regular stuff. But it's these little details that they look for that they say, oh, those are the markings of a future professional. So I'm always interested in what they do. And I read a book about Brian Clough, who's a former manager in England. And he was there's a whole slew of science regarding signings and transfers. And he breaks the mold. It's like, so this works for everyone except Brian Clough. And one of the things that Brian always said was, you don't buy someone based on their performances in international tournaments. And I feel like he was trying to say James Rodríguez, but he was too English to get those words out of his mouth, because that's exactly who this guy is, man. He puts on a Colombia shirt, and you see his team of the year card pop out. And then anytime he puts on a club shirt, it just doesn't work. And I don't know if that's because Colombia kind of lets them be themselves, where in a club structure, maybe that would be, especially with a South American flair and attitude, it might be seen as having a bad attitude or not caring or being cocky. I'm not sure what it is. I would love to figure it out. I thought there was a glimmer of hope with him at Everton under Carlo Ancelotti, which is still just crazy to think about those two names being associated with the Everton.
Yeah.
Wow. Carlo Ancelotti at Everton? That's wild, Dude, that's like seeing Princess Diana at a McDonald's. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Everton. But you're like, yo, Big Mac? Crazy. For me, James Rodríguez is showing how great he is. I'm so afraid we're going to not see it anymore. Because at 32, he's clearly a lot slower than he used to be. He's not even running. He's getting Messi treatment from Colombia, which is like, all right, we'll do the running for you. You hit us with them crazy passes, and he's doing it. Nico brought up a good point earlier today where he said he basically played almost a perfect game if it wasn't for the foul that gave up the free kick where Brazil scored. He basically had almost a perfect game, and it's almost beautiful to see, as someone who's not Colombian, I have no connection to Colombia. It's beautiful to see, and this team fills me with so much joy, and pretty much anyone who watch, because they play like a bunch of kids. Like, they're just enjoying themselves. Seeing James ball out in the middle of the park like that is beautiful. That, to me, is what a 10 should be playing like.